Hello students, welcome you for the topic on signal distortion in optical fibers. As you all know, there are several types of distortions occurring in our optical fibers which can occur loss to the system. Attenuation loss, absorption loss, bending loss. Apart from it, we have one more type of loss that can degrade your signal input. It's called as dispersion loss. So in this video lecture, we'll be covering what is meant by dispersion, how do we calculate, or what are the parameters involved in calculating dispersion, how to characterize the dispersion of a signal, and what are the different types of dispersion losses. So dispersion says about you're going to send an input signal to the fiber. It is not needed that only one particular wavelength is traveling inside the fiber. You may have different waves traveling inside the fiber, each with a different velocity. So due to this, there is a degradation of your signal at the output terminal of your fiber. So these signals which are distorted is capable of producing a broadened pulse output when compared to your input pulse. This broadened pulses is producing a loss which we call it as dispersion loss. So you can refer over here. The velocity of a different frequencies is capable of producing dispersive nature. The dispersion occurs when the optical pulse travel along the fiber and the pulses get broadened up. As the signal propagates further, the pulses lose their identity and the data is lost. So now this pictorial representation shows how the dispersion loss occur in a fiber. This is your input side. You are sending a pulse of a smaller pulse width or spectral width, we call it as. As your length of the fiber gets increased, you can notice that your pulse is being broadening up. At the output terminal, your pulse is broadened 1. So what happens? You have a smaller time period. As it goes to the length of the fiber, the pulse is being expanded. So here you can clearly see about how it happens. So you have a pulse. You have here at this point, both the pulses are linked together. It is a continuous 2 pulses. Again, the pulses are broadened. So you have further distortion occurring, and this is called as intersimple interference. So you have one pulse, the next pulse, both the pulses are broadened up, and you will have your symbols to be interfered. We call it as intersimple interference. This is one type of distortion occurring, and this is called as dispersion loss. So what are the parameters involved in the dispersion loss? The main parameters are going to be group velocity, group delay calculation, which will produce some pulse broadening. So important parameters: phase velocity. The wave velocity, it can be with respect to two values. One is on cylindrical waveguide, the next is one for plane waveguide. If it is for plane waveguide, you know it is a Cartesian coordinates, therefore it is The wave velocity is called as omega by k1, c by n1. This is one formula. If it is with a model wave, cylindrical model wave, you will have the phase velocity to be represented as omega by beta. Beta is going to be called as propagation constant. Second parameter to be calculated is group velocity and group delay. Group velocity is nothing but the differential component of your phase velocity. So you differentiate your phase velocity d by d of Vp. Phase velocity, if you differentiate, you will get it as group velocity. Once you know group velocity, it is not necessary that only one wave is propagated. You will have n number of waves, each wave traveling with its own different velocity, where you can calculate the group delay. So group delay is defined in terms of tau g, that is nothing but inversely proportional to group velocity. And you are calculating for the entire length of the fiber, therefore L is being multiplied. L is being multiplied. The next component is called as bandwidth length product. You have the bandwidth of your transmission medium multiplied by L. Therefore, bandwidth is in gigahertz, L is in kilometer. That's why the unit gigahertz per kilometer. So here I've given a small example. If it is a multi-mode step index fiber, it is 20 megahertz per into kilometer. Graded index is 2.5 gigahertz kilometer. For single mode, it is 10 kilohertz kilometer. Therefore, single mode fibers occupy maximum transmission bandwidth length product. Higher the maximum transmission length product, best is the system. How to characterize your dispersion? So we know three parameters. One is Vp, next one is Vg, then the third one is your tau g. You need to calculate all these values. So how to define? It's all taken from your previous thing. Tau g by L is your dB by d omega. Substitute what is omega? C by k. First equation, C by k. What is C? You can substitute in terms of your lambda, which is nothing but a spectral frequency in which your laser light or a LED source is being taken as an input parameter to a fiber component. Okay, now you're going to calculate what is tau tau. You're differentiating the component. So differentiate all the parameters and you'll get a double differentiation because this is d. Once you differentiate, you'll get dou squared. That's how you get it as squared terms over here. You're differentiating one more time. So how to calculate your dispersion? Now the parameter is for dispersion calculated. So how to calculate your dispersion? Dispersion is going to be 1 by L tau g by tau lambda. What is tau g? Tau g is going to be inversely proportional to 1 by Vg. So substitute over here. So you get your parameters. Therefore, dispersion is proportional to propagation constant, your spectral frequency. And what happens is, once you calculate your dispersion, we usually say dispersion is nothing but broadening of your pulse. So this pulse spread we need to calculate. Pulse spread is always defined in terms of sigma. So sigma g is called as the dispersion pulse spread. That is nothing but dispersion value calculation from previous one, length of the fiber, and the input pulse spectral width. So sigma lambda is called as the input pulse spectral line width. Sigma g is called as the output broadened pulse width, which is being calculated with a dispersion parameter. The unit for dispersion is picoseconds divided by nanometer and kilometer. What are the types of dispersion? Types of dispersion generally occurs broadly classified into two types: intramodal, intermodal. Okay, basically it is classified two types, intra and inter. Intramodal is again classified as material dispersion, waveguide dispersion. So apart from it, you have one more type which we call it in terms of PMD, polarization dispersion. So in the consecutive videos, we will be seeing about how to calculate dispersion spread due to material, dispersion spread due to waveguide, dispersion spread due to polarization. So these three are the important dispersion parameters to be evaluated. Intramodal dispersion, you will have the pulse to be spread, and the pulse is spread due to the group velocity, and we call it as group velocity dispersion. It mainly happens due to the spectral input line width. This is the input line width. Due to dispersion length of the fiber, you will have the dispersion to occur broader line width or the dispersion. What are the types of, or what are the causes of this intramodal dispersion? You have two types in intramodal. One is called as material, the next one is called as waveguide. How does it happen? Material, as you can find out from the name itself, material dispersion occurs due to the variation in the refractive index of your core medium. So N1 is varied. If you vary the value of N1, refractive index of the core medium, this can produce some dispersion loss occurring to the system. Okay. Second one is the waveguide dispersion. We all know that when a light is being propagated inside the fiber, so you have a fiber. Okay. When a light is being propagated inside the fiber, we assume the light travels along the axis of the fiber. But this doesn't usually happen. 80% of your fiber power is transmitted to the core. Remaining 20% it has been transmitted to cladding. So the remaining 20% will disperse into your clad material, which will produce some losses. That is called as waveguide dispersion losses. So you need to minimize the dispersion loss occurring in the fiber media. Okay, single mode dispersion, single mode fibers will have waveguide to be dominant. Multimode will have material to be dominant. So this is nothing but from your previous thing I have summarized. We are going to calculate bandwidth distance product. It can be from megahertz kilometer to gigahertz kilometer. Depending upon the fiber used, whether it's a step index, multimode, graded index, you will have your fiber bandwidth product to be increased. So always we say that single mode fiber is the best one to be used. How does the spectral line width is being defined here? So you have, these are the input pulses. This is how your spectral line width is being defined in optical system. So you have the lambda naught as the center point of it. You have the signals to be represented as 0.5 and half a bandwidth and full bandwidth. You can calculate the spectral line width is 5% deviation of the central wavelength. So LED source, the wavelength is 850 nanometer. The spectral line width will be 40 nanometer. And the output power emitted will be 830 to 870 nanometer. Now we can clearly find out from here, a chart has been given which says about different light sources emitting different line width. So LED, what is the line width? Laser diode, if I use as an input, it is 0.1. Different types of lasers will have different line width. So you have to maintain that the input line width will have a very good confinement to propagate the light inside the fiber material. So your source should be very good, in such a case that it has the minimum transmission line bandwidth as an input pulse. So once I want to take the line pulse, the center one is lambda naught. That's a center wavelength. There is no delay in it, so it arrives. If you have a delay of lambda by 2, see you have introduced some delay, so it arrives at last. If you introduce a negative delay, it arrives first. So what happens, instead of lambda naught arriving as lambda naught, it will have some delay, group delay. It can arrive either later or it can arrive faster. Due to this, you will have interlinking of your pulses, which will lead into ISI component, which is nothing but your pulse spreading occurring to the system. So in this chapter, only a basic definition about how does the dispersion loss can occur to the fiber, what are the parameters involved in calculating the dispersion loss. It is group velocity, phase velocity and pulse spread. Once you calculate all these three, we can evaluate the dispersion loss occurring in a fiber optic system. Then we saw about the basic types of dispersion losses that can occur either due to the waveguide, material or polarization. These are the main three dispersion laws that can occur to a fiber optic medium. Thank you.